While there are many men out there that would disagree with me, I still think it's really important that men approach women. Truth be told, it allows for great connections, the possibility for meaningful relationships, and it ultimately promotes healthy social interaction, which I think we are severely lacking these days. However, I'm also entirely aware that in today's culture, there are a lot of societal nuances and challenges that make it feel really overwhelming for many men to walk up and approach a beautiful woman. Thoughts are likely running through your head, such as, am I disturbing her? Is she going to think I'm creepy? Or some other narrative that might be looping in your mind. And so you don't bother approaching her at all just to be on the safe side. But in today's video, I want to share with you 5 things you want to keep in mind as you approach women that are going to allow you to do this with class, with confidence, with maturity, and allow for great connections to form. And maybe you will even find the woman of your dreams. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kimberly Hill. I'm a men's life, dating, and relationship coach. And I support good-hearted men to find deeply loving relationships. Specifically, if you are dating again after divorce, separation, or the end of a long-term relationship, and you're needing a little support to navigate the nuances of dating today, and you really want to attract the right kind of partner to you, then I encourage you to book a complimentary consultation with me where we're going to talk about your dating strategy, help you overcome what might be holding you back so that you can find the woman that is right for you. Now, I invite you to do that by finding a time that's convenient for you using the link in the video show notes here, or feel free to head over to my website at www.kimberlyninahill.com where you can read some great testimonials and you can book a call directly from my site. Now, when it comes to approaching women, it can be a very positive and respectful endeavor when it is done with genuine intentions and confidence and consideration. And so the first of the 5 points I want to mention today is understanding your body language when you approach a woman. Now, I can't create this video without diving into a section on body language, as this is one of the most critical components when it comes to approaching women, as a woman's body language will provide you valuable clues and insights as to her comfort level and interest in even being spoken to or approached. Now, some women, let's call a spade a spade. Some women simply are not open to being approached. Some of us go out and about to carry on our regular day and we are just not in the mood or have the energy to have social interaction. So we will represent that in our body language. So first and foremost, when you see a woman out in public, even if you only get a relatively quick glance at her, you'll be able to pick up a fair bit of information. Now, is her posture open? Does she look relaxed being wherever she is? Is she enjoying herself or having fun with her friends? Does she even look happy, right? Or does she have her arms crossed? Is she kind of demonstrating a sourpuss mood? Because those will give you lots of information. Now, has she caught your eye at all? And has she given you a little smile or a glance? Because if she is positioned in a way that allows for you to get closer to her, such as she takes a seat nearby you or even faces you directly, these can be subtle indicators that she has a willingness to engage in conversation. If she is frequently glancing in your direction, it might simply suggest that she's checking you out or at least maintaining awareness of where you are. So before you walk up or even approach a woman, you want to get a general sense of whether or not she seems to be open to talking and in a relaxed kind of mood. And look, in all situations, you might not be able to get this clear of a read. So you also have to understand your own body language. What is the right way for a man to walk up and approach a woman so that it demonstrates that you possess both confidence and safety? And the first thing you want to keep in mind is that confident posture is very much about standing upright, maintaining that open body language yourself. And without a doubt, a good rule of thumb is to never approach a woman from behind, always at least from the side or from the front, so that you simply don't startle her. Now, as you approach with that upright body posture, this conveys self-assurance versus walking over being a little hunched over and having your arms crossed. And remember that a friendly smile can go a long way because this helps to create a positive and inviting environment. But make sure when you make eye contact and smile, you do it with a subtle glance versus staring, because that makes anybody feel uncomfortable. So as you make your approach, be mindful of your proximity to her and keep a respectable distance so that you allow her to feel comfortable. Because over time, when a woman feels comfortable with a man, she will get closer to him. But in the beginning, she needs to suss you out, right? So maybe you're pretty confident in these areas. Perhaps you go to a gym fairly often. You've seen the same woman working out similar times to you, and you're thinking maybe now is a good time to walk up and approach her since, we've caught eyes a few times. So you see your opportunity to walk up and you introduce yourself. Now, what's important to understand is whether or not a woman is giving you positive body language during your interaction. So first, let me share a few signs of discomfort. The first is that she has her arms crossed and she starts to kind of turn away from you. This is her indicating she wants to leave that interaction, or she's trying to create a physical barrier with objects, such as she moves behind the piece of workout equipment, because this is signaling discomfort or a desire for her to end the conversation. She might even avoid eye contact with you. She will frequently look away, and that suggests that she's not really interested in the conversation with you, or she might start fidgeting a lot because she has a lot of nervous energy that she is trying to deal with. And this is indicating that sense of unease or nervousness. And then you'll notice that her responses are very minimal. She will give you short one-word answers or really a lack of engagement in the conversation, because this is simply suggesting she's not that interested in continuing the interaction versus a woman who is open to conversation and is going to have this like friendly, loving body language because she's engaged and she wants to be involved and she's happy to have a chat. So take notice of this and always remember to quickly glance at her feet positioning, because if she starts to angle her feet away from you, her feet are telling you where she wants to go, which is out of this conversation. And this isn't because you're creepy or you have some weird intentions. It's simply because some women just are not wanting to be approached or don't feel comfortable being approached. And it's because 80% of our communication is nonverbal. So this is her polite way of saying she doesn't want to continue this interaction with you without blatantly saying it to your face, because that is risky for women. So women have been taught to avoid danger, to avoid confrontation. And so she will give you subtle signs that she's not interested. And it's really important as a man that you're mindful and respectful of this. It's not personal. It doesn't mean you're a bad guy. It simply means she's not the right woman for you. So if you notice these signs, then just politely make an exit and get back to doing whatever you were doing before. No harm, no foul, just a mismatch with two people. Now, the second area you want to keep in mind when it comes to approaching women is the context and the environment in which you are in. It's important to be mindful of the setting and the context when you approach someone, because things like a social event are going to be a lot easier and way more appropriate than doing so in a professional or a very public setting. Now, that does not mean you can't approach a woman in a coffee shop or a grocery store, but it's likely that you'll have less positive interactions in those arenas, because women aren't going to a grocery store to talk and meet other people, whereas at a social event and a networking event or a singles event or a friend's party, we are there with the intention to mix and mingle and have fun. So it's more likely you'll have favorable, positive interactions. But nonetheless, it's entirely possible to approach a woman no matter where you are if you're mindful of the body language. And you do so with the third point I want to make, which is approaching with perceived familiarity. And what I really mean here is taking the approach out of approaching women. Okay, let me explain. Let's say you're standing in line to order a coffee, and there's an attractive woman standing in front of you in the same line. Instead of thinking to yourself, how do I approach this woman? Just start talking to her as if she's already a friend of yours. Pick up in the middle of a conversation. So instead of going, hi, I just wanted to come over and let you know how, none of that, no approach. Just start saying something like, I never know what to order here. There's so many choices. Or, wow, didn't we get lucky? Such a nice, beautiful day outside. And then here's what to look out for. If she hears you and is open to having a bit of dialogue, she'll respond to your comment. And if she is not open to having some dialogue with you, she will pretend she never heard you. Simple as that. You don't even need to worry about what to say, what question to ask her, how to compliment her, how to introduce yourself. You simply just pick up with some general anecdotal conversation and then see how she responds. If she responds to your friendly attempt to make some small talk, then introduce yourself right away, because as soon as you introduce yourself, you are no longer technically strangers. Now, the two of you are having just a genuine, friendly conversation without the intention being that you need something from her. You can do the same thing if you're ordering a drink from the bar next to a beautiful woman. You lean into the bar and start simply talking next to her and say something like, hey, it's way busier in here tonight than I thought it would be, or I don't know if I'm vibing the live band they have in here tonight. And again, see whether or not she responds to your friendly attempt to make some small talk. If she does, great, introduce yourself. And if she doesn't, then don't even worry about it. Which is what leads me to my last point when it comes to approaching women, which is always focus on a genuine connection versus pursuing a specific outcome. As soon as a woman gets the sense that a man is after something or wants something from her, she will tend to shut down because she's put in an uncomfortable situation. But if a man approaches her and just starts to have some friendly conversation or makes an interesting anecdotal comment, then this is what people do that is just small talk. It's nice conversation. This is how we talk to our friends when we haven't seen them in a little while, or just people we're familiar with. And what this does is it creates a confident and a relaxed environment versus what happens when a man approaches a woman simply because he needs her to respond or has an expectation that she will respond in a certain way. When a man approaches a woman because he is after her number or wants to have a positive interaction or hopes that she becomes his next girlfriend, a woman starts to sense this pressure building between two people. And if she doesn't find you the hottest man in the entire world, she's likely going to try and find a way out of this conversation. I remember just a few weeks ago, my girlfriend and I went to the Fairmont waterfront to have a couple cocktails at the bar. We were just there to shoot the shit and catch up with each other, but a man approached from my right just to lean in and order his own drink at the bar, and then just made some anecdotal comment to my friend and I, and it started a very natural conversation. It was very friendly. It was not sexual in nature. There was no pressure to even continue the conversation, but we chose to continue the conversation because it was simply enjoyable. So keep in mind that one of the most important things when you want to talk to a woman or start a conversation with a woman or approach a woman is not to expect a certain outcome. Because as soon as you have an expectation for things to go a certain way, you're going to face resistance. And she's going to pick up on the energy of you needing and wanting something from her, which is the worst strategy for picking up women. What's most important is to understand that body language is 80% of communication. So be mindful of a woman's body language as well as your own. Take a much more relaxed approach to chatting with someone versus worrying about getting something specific from the interaction. And notice that you start to have way more positive interactions with women. I hope this video has provided some great value and some perspectives to think about when it comes to approaching and talking to women in public. I'd love to hear your comments below. And if you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to more videos just like this one.